طيب مصطفى دور عليكي مرة وجيب.
Everybody who came on this cold evening to to celebrate with us and in solidarity with the working people of Greece.
Hello, my name is Stanley Heller. Welcome to The Struggle. The Struggle is shown on 22 cable stations from Vermont to New York City, on the internet at thestruggle.org, our YouTube channel, Struggle Video Media. The Israeli government has finished its latest assault on Gaza, which it gave the biblical name Pillar of Cloud. Netanyahu is evidently confusing himself with Moses. A better name would be Operation Test Weapons. The attack killed more than 100 Palestinians, and Israel got to use its Iron Dome anti-missile system and its huge collection of drones. It's obscene to talk about winning and losing after this bloodbath. 140 dead Palestinians, 1,000 bodies shattered, a West Bank infant burned to death, the lives of 9 members of the al-Dalu family extinguished, 6 Israelis killed. Physical damage must be enormous. Israel Minister of Intelligence Dan Meridor is quoted in the New York Times as saying that Israel struck 10 times as many targets in this attack as it did 4 years ago. Yet observations can be made. Gaza was not as isolated as it was 4 years ago. The Egyptian Prime Minister visited during the bombing, as did the Prime Minister of Tunisia. 500 Egyptian activists crossed Gaza through Rafah, braving the explosions. On the other hand, Egypt did not tear up its treaty with Israel and open the Rafah border unconditionally. Hamas missiles were again shown to be militarily useless. The loathsome, money-grubbing U.S. Congress voted unanimously to support the Israeli attack. It took the U.S. House all of 1 minute. Not a single member asked even for a debate. Obama supported Israel 100%. Not one sign that he asked Israel for any kind of restraint. A poll suggests that 70% of Israelis thought the operation didn't go far enough. On the other hand, if you look at the text of the ceasefire agreement, it seems far better than that which was imposed on the Lebanese forces after Israel's last war there. Nothing about weapons, nothing about outside forces to monitor the truce, and included was an Israeli agreement to end its assassinations. There were celebrations in Gaza and angry protests against Netanyahu by forces even more bloodthirsty than he. Gaza has survived. On the show today, video from Gaza, from Al Jazeera, and from the Egyptian film collective Moiserine. Then a young Jewish woman denounces the attack on Gaza. Then interviews and photos from a rally in New York City supporting the Greek general strike and the massive solidarity actions that took place across Europe and South America. Finally, music performed by an extraordinary Middle Eastern group of musicians at the Tree of Life in Old Lyme, Connecticut. We start with an Al Jazeera report about Gaza from a reporter who happened to be stationed in Sderot, Israel.
Also overnight, we had attacks in the northern part of Gaza in the Jabalia refugee camp. 2 people were killed, 1 of them was a child, and 10 people were injured. And this was an attack on 2 houses in the north.
And largely quiet where you are, Nicole. I'm just wondering, just over your shoulder there, maybe you didn't see it, but there seemed to be a flash of light behind you. I can actually see, well, it looks like some smoke going up behind you anyway. What's it been like there?
Actually, it's been relatively quiet on the Israeli side overnight. We're still waiting to get confirmation from the IDF, that's the Israeli army.
Nicole, sorry, can I jump in? I just, you know, it was actually over your other shoulder I was looking, and we've got live pictures in from Gaza now, a huge plume of smoke going up in Gaza City right now. Yeah, both sources we're seeing this on here. This has just happened out of our line of vision. Just bear with me a second, Nicole. I have, unfortunately, absolutely no information on whereabouts this is in Gaza City, but I'm wondering, I mean, can you see... Yeah, I can see your camera going in, Nicole, actually. Can we have a look at Nicole's camera as well there, just to get the wide shot?
Kamal, we can see the fumes of black smoke on the distance there. Our cameraman is trying to zoom in to get a better picture for you. We've been here for about the last hour, so that would be the first sort of large explosion that we've seen from here in the last hour, which doesn't, of course, mean that it's the only one that's been going on. You don't always see the smoke. It depends on how large it is, but clearly there are attacks continuing in Gaza on Sunday morning. Unclear yet whether it is as heavy as it was the previous night when there was 180 different strikes carried out on Gaza on Friday night. But certainly Saturday night, as we've heard, at least 2 people have been killed, and we know that an assault is taking place from the sea by the Israeli Navy.
Next video shot in al-Shifa hospital in Gaza during a night of raids.
كله عندي الا مصطفى طايل مصطفى دور عليكي من ردم وجيبه
الاسعاف لما نجوا بيضربوا الاسعاف كمان طولوا لما نجوا طولوا من كتر الاوقات اللي عليهم طولوا لما نجوا طولوا يا اخوي لما نجوا طولوا احنا صامدين في ارضنا وقاعدين وفضولنا كمان يعني احنا لا ضربنا صواريخ ولا عملنا احنا فضولنا امنين قاعدين يخبطونا فضولنا احنا فضولنا الدور روح شوف المجزرة اللي صارت الدور وقعت علينا
خبطوا الدار اول صاروخ خبطوها صاروخ تحذيري طلعنا عرفنا انه ناويين يضربوا الدار اتصلوا على اخويا ما ردش عليهم ما ردش عليهم اتصل رقم غريب برضه ما ردش عليه ضربوا صاروخ تحذيري في بيتي من اخويا تحت كمان واخويا اللي تحت 3 طوابق 4 طوابق الدار فخلص عرفنا انه ناويين نضربوا الدار فطلعنا مسافة ما طلعنا يعني لسه مسافة ما طلعنا كانوا يعني نازلين الدار قاصفين الدار زي ما انت شايف على القصف ضغط وهذا جار وقزاز بدهم الصغار.
انتوا كم واحد في البيت؟
حوالي 15-16 نفر.
العدوان هذا بلش تقريبا من 5 أيام، بالأول كان يومين إنه قصف عالي زي اللي بصير دائما بس إنه أقوى شوي، بعد هيك صار التصعيد يوم ما اختاروا أحمد الجعبري وهو قائد في كتائب القسام، وبدأ التصعيد من يومها.
ما هي قاطعة الكهرب، يلا خليها تكمل، عدها بتيجي ثواني. هيو معي أطفال.
قبل قليل حدث انفجار بجانب مستشفى الشفاء، وتم أضرار موجودة قد رأيتموها في مستشفى الشفاء نتيجة القصف الصهيوني الغاشم.
حطوا مع الشقة، حطوا معنا على الشقة. شباب سكروا لي على الباب. أطفال.
هو هيك هو أولاد صوروا الأولاد
صار كله.
تفضل.
ده الطفل عز الدين البرقاوي، ذنبه انه طفل غير أطفال العالم. ذنبه إنه بيلعب في حضن أمه. ما صار القصف إلا طار من حضن أمه للسقف. ضرب في السطح، جته شظية، نزل عايم في دمه. غايب عن الوعي. إجراي انتشلته، فيش حتى إسعاف اللي أقدر على طول إنه ياخده. صرت أجري فيه مسافة والطيران والوضع صعب، لكن الحمد لله استدركنا الأمر وأجا أمبولانس وجابوه.
Now from Jewish Voice for Peace, a young woman denounces the bloody attack on Gaza.
Hi, my name is Charlotte-Anne, and I'm another Jew speaking out against Israel's assault on Gaza. If you don't believe in extrajudicial assassinations, you are not alone. If you don't think that targeting civilians, journalists, or medical centers is justified, you are not alone. If you don't think civilian population should be living under fear of bombs and rockets, you are not alone. Our governments are either directly funding this violence or are deeply complicit in it. We need to see justice, not bombs, bullets, or rockets. We need to see equality, not occupation racist laws or walls. As the death toll surpasses 100 on this, the 6th day of Operation Pillar of Cloud, join us in demanding that our government stop supporting violence and start supporting justice and peace. Let's remember that when this horrific violence stops, Palestinians will still be living under the violence of occupation and blockades, that Palestinian refugees will still be denied their right of return, and that people living in Israel still won't all have equal rights. So join us in a productive, non-violent form of solidarity. Join us in the global boycott, divestment, and sanctions movement. We all know that finding our voice on this issue is risky in Jewish communities, but speaking out is not an option. It is our necessity. So join me on YouTube and Tumblr. Find your voice in our growing solidarity movement. Start a conversation at the dinner table and join us in the streets. Only justice will bring peace.
The worst horror was the bomb that wiped out 9 members of the al-Shifa family in Gaza. 4 children. Go to our website. There's a video, Aftermath. Also, another video showing a member of the Israeli parliament leading a crowd in bloodthirsty cries for murder, saying, "Let the army exterminate and eradicate Gaza." On our website, thestruggle.org. The rally in the twilight in New York City took place in mid-November on a day of an extraordinary number of solidarity actions all across Europe. It also was a warning about the rise of Greek fascism. It's the same old story. When capitalism gets sick, the chiefs call out the bully boys to divide and confuse. Alan, I understand you were one of the people at the Speak Out. We unfortunately missed that, but what did you say?
Well, I said the basic idea out of this event is that we stand here in solidarity with the people of Greece and the people of Europe fighting against austerity. We said that one of the main ideas is that came out from other people as well as myself in the Speak Out was that, and it's going to come up at 5, is that, that capitalism has failed at 99%, is that, and there is a need to fight back against, because basically what's going on now is that, working people, both in the US and in Europe, feel as if they have picked up the tab for a party they were not invited to. And we need to fight back. We should not accept that. We should not accept to pay for the crimes of the financial oligarchy and Wall Street. And that's why today we're here in solidarity with the people there were hundreds of thousands today, perhaps millions in Europe, demonstrating, protesting in Spain, in Portugal, in Italy, in Greece, in Malta, I am told, even in Belgium, And there were actions. Actually, the main union federation in South America, which represents 50 million workers, also had events staged in South America, in solidarity against austerity and against the budget cuts that are taking place. So this is what this is about today, and about, of course, for us to stand here in solidarity. There's a particular issue. Many of us are from the Greek American community. And for us, it has a special importance of that, because this is a country that faces 50% youth unemployment, 25% unemployment. The economy has contracted by 25% over the last 6 years. Working people are desperate. There's actually conditions of desperation, and there's thousands of people who have committed suicide because of feeling that they're completely left out. There's cuts.
Literally thousands?
Literally, there's thousands who have committed suicide. I mean, it's... I'm not. It would be like there's definitely over 1,000 people since the beginning of the crisis have killed themselves. Some of them quite publicly, in protest, because they said, I cannot go on. I feel as if I'm, and it's an absolute catastrophe. I mean, it's asking ordinary people. While the rich have all taken their money to Switzerland and buying properties in London, the ordinary folks, the pensioners, the young people, the working people, and the unemployed are asked to pay by living beneath the level of dignity that ordinary people are used to in Greece. And of course, side by side as well, because capitalism and the capitalist regime in Greece doesn't just stand by and say, yes, of course, it's us that screwed up the economy. They need to blame somebody. And who are they blaming? They're blaming the immigrants by turning the Golden Dawn, which is a neo-fascist organization, launching them against the immigrants, trying to blame the immigrants for the crisis that the banks, Wall Street, the bankers, and big business arranged by paying no taxes and so on and so on. They're trying to.
I understand there was a meeting Sunday, and there was concern that Golden Dawn would try to break it up here in New York.
There was a threat. There was a verbal threat expressed on the phone to one of the people who were organizing the meeting against one of the academics who were speaking. It was actually an innocuous meeting speaking about basic historical facts about the role that fascism played. Nothing happened. I mean, they're a bunch of nobodies here in New York. They don't dare to come out in the open. But
they've hurt people in Greece.
They have killed people in Greece. They are attacking. They started out with very violent attacks against immigrant communities. In some areas in Athens, they are organizing pogroms, literally, where they hurt people quite severely. There have been fire bombings. There's been abuse of. But then, increasingly now, the attacks are directed against the left. Against the activists, against gay activists. They attacked actually, along with some of the religious organizations, to try to shut down a theatrical play recently in Greece. And they're an extremely dangerous organization. Increasingly, the resistance now to them, like there is more on the local level, on the neighborhood level. There is increasing anti-FA committees, anti-fascist committees that are being set up, and increasingly they're going to be pushed back. But they have been unleashed. There's no question that and it's a standard issue that when the system's interests are threatened, they will unleash not only the state and the police which they have done over and over again in the course of general strikes, but they also will turn around and unleash these fascist squads, to try to terrorize ordinary people who are economic refugees. And the irony is that the whole history of the last 100 years of Greek people is that we were the economic refugees. We were working in the factories and the mines of Australia, of Belgium, of Germany, of Canada, in the United States as well, coming in droves as immigrants. And it's ironic that these people now are turning this attacks on immigrants to blame immigrants. But the Greek community here, the Greek American community, has been quite supportive. We organized very successful rallies and events actually against them in Astoria and Queens. We organized a rally. We had about over 200 people with very well-known academics like Kostas Panagiotakis and Despina Lalaki, and a number of people. Occupy Astoria is working very closely with one of our groups, the Arisτερή Κίνηση, which is the Greek-American left movement. So we're very encouraged, and we hope that we'll have a good rally here today.
Thank you very much.
You're very welcome. It's a great pleasure.
So could you describe what's going on today? Why the protest?
Today's protest is in solidarity with the call by the Southern European working class, particularly in Greece, Spain, Portugal, parts of Italy, that have cried out against the austerity packages that has basically trampled upon the lives of ordinary working people. The events that are taking place today that also was supported by many Latin American union federations and have come out to say that we stand in solidarity with particularly the Greek working class that had just recently actually just finished a 48-hour general strike, which makes it its 20th general strike over the past period, which is astonishing actually. But it also demands that we must begin to look at is how do we not only say no to the austerity packages, but say that we need a transformation of society. Capitalism has truly shown that is incapable, unwilling to provide the most basic necessities. What is being proposed in Greece today is a $23 billion austerity package, which will plague a population where its young people are 50% unemployed, which will plunge more working people and the elderly to lose their pension plans, and some of them are even taking their lives because of the type of conditions that they're living under today.
Yeah, I understand that for most Greeks, their living standards have gone down 40% in just a couple of years.
Absolutely. In fact, we're seeing this as a continental question, a continental problem for the European working class. And of course, around the world, we've seen these kind of austerity packages, even here in the United States. In New York, it was just announced that there will be millions cut from vital social services for working people. It was just announced in the Daily News just 2 days ago.
What are the groups that are involved with this particular protest?
Sure. There's a group called the Left Movement, which makes up of Greek Americans, of Greek expatriates who are living here in the United States. And they came about because of the question of Golden Dawn, this neo-fascist organization that was planning to set up shop right here in New York City. We organized a mass meeting of over 200 people in Astoria, Queens. So it was definitely a grassroots call and action that took place. They're the primary movers of this movement. There's also Friends of Syriza, the organization in the last election that could perhaps take electoral power or have substantial power in the parliament. We think that's a very important step forward, but we must be clear that there cannot be compromise made with the UE or the European ruling elite, because once they smell blood, once they think that people are not going to fight, not going to struggle against what is being proposed, then they will continue to take more and more. And I think Syriza and many of the left organizations throughout Europe are beginning to stand their ground a little bit, and I think they also have to provide a political alternative, an economic alternative.
Everybody who came on this cold evening to celebrate with us and in solidarity with the working people of Greece and the working people of Europe who are organizing this general strike.
When the world has gone crazy and it's all becoming clear, when they're gunning down our comrades and it seems the end is near, as they're loading up the launchers for the tear gas grenades, we can take off our bandanas and kiss behind the barricades. When it's madness all around and you can see this at a glance, we will sing and we will cry, we will laugh and we will dance, as they shout their marching orders beneath the helicopter blades. We shall seize the moment for a kiss behind the barricades. They will try to break our spirit, and at times they may succeed, but our love for the world is stronger than their greed. When the building is surrounded and hope begins to fade, in my final hour, a kiss behind the barricades. As the movement grows, there will be hills and bends, but at the center of the struggle are your lovers and your friends. And the more we hold each other up, the less we can be swayed. Here's to love and solidarity, and a kiss behind the barricades.